another one of our great pitchers, Eflin, came off and they got him on like the 14-day IL. Are we to think that he might end up going on the 60-day? I know we don't know much about it, but these shoulder things are pretty concerning.
Well, as I said before, the Orioles are fairly transparent, and they did mention that Suarez had a subscapular muscle strain. And in today's world, the MRIs are pretty sensitive, and they didn't say how bad it was, but your subscapularis muscle is part of your rotator cuff, and that's obviously a bad word to injure. So I am assuming that there was a fair amount of inflammation and a significant part of that muscle was disabled or injured. And so I'm guessing that based on that, they figured he would need extensive time off. And then, of course, you start a complete restart, a spring training restart. That's going to take 2-3 weeks. So I suspect they're hopeful he'll be back in a little less than that. But given the status of their pitching staff, they probably figured they needed that roster spot because when you're on the 60, you obviously can add a player on your roster. So I suspect and hope that Suarez isn't as bad as that sounds, but they needed the slot. But rotator cuff inflammation is a big deal. I suspect Eflin's headed there too, in that suddenly lat strains have become a kind of a popular injury. And again, it's a injury where the MRI can give you a higher degree of feel for how bad it is. Since they started him on the 14, they're probably lighting a few candles, as Dan Duquette used to say, and hoping it's not too big. But usually that's going to be at least 4 weeks, I would think, probably closer to 6.